A lot of people were curious about how I film my episodes, so I'm going to show you how I set it up, film it, edit it, put it together, and post it on YouTube. Okay, so this is what I do. First thing I do is I grab something to drink, because I like to have something to drink when I'm filming. Come over here. I definitely hear the air conditioner on. That sucker is going off. And it's off. Head up to my temporary home studio where I just have a bunch of stuff hanging around. Lights are already on. Kind of looks like that. Up top is, see a bunch of stuff up there, and I'll show you what's going on. I'm not going to use this lighting. Well, let's take a look at what I do. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these cards down here. I keep all my remotes and my cards sitting here on this table. I'm kind of a little bit anal about stuff because I like to be able to find it. There's my remote, and here's some light things. I'm going to grab this card for the sound and this card for the camera, and I'm going to walk over to the camera. Here's my rig. I have 5D. I have the zoom sitting here. That's my battery power. That's my VS5 up there. First thing I'm going to do is insert in the zoom my card like so. I'm going to turn it on. And I am immediately going to format this guy. Formatting, done. It's ready to go. That's my best assurance that that card and that zoom is working. Let's turn on the VS5 monitor. Make sure that's working. Good, that's on. Let's come over to the 5D. I'm going to insert this card in here. Make sure I insert it the right way, of course. I'm going to turn the camera on, which is fed up into this monitor. So come over here. I see that's working. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to immediately, same as the zoom, I'm going to format that card right now. Now I know these two things are working. And there we go. It of course is terrible lighting because I'm using the regular indoor lights and I haven't turned on my other lights yet. This is all set up with the white balance and everything else, and in fact this 50mm lens, I'm not touching this. I know that it's focused. Sometimes I'll check it, but normally I just don't touch this. No one comes up here. I know this lens is focused exactly where I'll stand, and I'll show you where that is in a moment. So let's come back over here and let's grab the remote. I have a fill light. I have a key light here. And up behind me, way up there, I have what is my hair light. And back here, I just have a stand. It has a green screen on it, also has a black cloth on it. I can also put a white sheet on it. It just doesn't matter. Sometimes I put things on this table for some background, but I'm not going to do that right now. And I also have this light sitting here. That's on a stand, if you can see that. And that's just to throw some background light, as you'll see in a moment. So I come over to here. I take my aperture remote, and I know it's already on A, that's where I left it. I turn that on. I go over to my fill light, which I know is on channel B, and I hit the B. That's on. I come over to my hair light, which is sitting up here. I turn that to channel C. Now that's on, and I'm done with that. If you'll notice up there, there's also a couple of can lights. And what I do is I have this little remote here, and I turn that on. And that's just got some 2 blue bulbs in it. What that does is it just allows me to throw a little blue background light on this thing, and it just looks better. All right, I come over to this guy over here. This is just an LED light. Let me show you. Looks like that. And I turn this guy on. That just throws some background against that. Now you'll notice the cloth, it has some wrinkles and has some various things like that. You won't see that in the video, as you'll see in a moment. Let's go over to here and get these nasty lights off. Aha! Now that looks normal. Over here, if I can show this to you, over here, we move down, and you'll see that there's 2 marks on the floor. I actually stand like this. This is my framing. I don't move the marks. It just works that way. I know where I'm supposed to stand. And that is in concert with this guy up here. I have the Rode NTG3 sitting up here. It goes down along the floor. Goes up around just so it's out of the way, back down, and it's over here plugged into the Zoom H5. There's a lot more information than just how I do it. Okay, I'm ready. So what I do is I come over here, I got all my lights on, I look around, everything's cool, air conditioning's off, everything's cool. Now, I'm going to start my sound. My sound started, I could see it's recording, I could see the numbers are moving. I'm going to start my camera. I could tell by this little light up here, it should be red, but you know, hey, the phone doesn't know what's going on. Now that's recording and the numbers are moving. I'm going to move about halfway in between. A better snap than that. That gives me some spikes in my sound, as you'll see when I'm editing. I'm recording. Now I stand back here on my marks. My microphone is right up here. If I look, it's about right here. Now you can see me on the camera. I'm now filming. Here I am. I can either be running a script using my phone over there, but it's currently on here. And I start my episode. I usually just start with some opener. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I film an episode. My bumper will play, and then I'll introduce it. A lot of people were curious about how I film my episode, so I'm going to show you how I set it up, film it, edit it, put it together, and post it on YouTube. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm just going to run into the episode when everything's done. I'm going to show everybody how this is and on the phone and everything, and I'm going to say, all right, well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. So what happens is every time I film an episode, it seems like I always make a mistake. So far, I haven't made a mistake. If I make a mistake, I use it as an outtake. So let's pretend I make a mistake. Oh yeah, I'm using the crane. I don't remember what it is. Well, that sucks. Let's say that actually happened. That would be my outtake. So now I'm done. I'm done filming. So let's de-do everything that I just did. We're going to turn off the sound. Good. We're going to come over here. We're going to turn off the camera. We're done filming. Good. Okay. We're going to turn off the monitor. Good. We're going to turn off the Zoom H6. Cool. We're going to pull this card. That is important. We want to hold on to that. We're going to come over to the camera. We're going to pull this card. That's important. You may have heard that little click. I forgot to turn off the camera. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt it. So everything's off over here. Now we're going to come back over here. We're going to turn back on these nasty, cruddy lights. Pow! Everything's going to turn yellow and nasty looking, and I'm going to turn off all my lights. Oh yeah, that's just a pile of gear, and I guess I should show you this. This is usually where I edit. This is the man cave. And I'll show you that in a moment. I come up here, I turn off my blue lights above with my remote. Kapow! I turn off my, because it was set to C. Back here, I turn off my hair light. That's done. Change to channel A. Turn off the key light. By key light. Change to the next channel, which is B. Turn that off, and I'll probably just flip this thing all around back to A just so I know which one's going on. I'm done with that. I turn off my backlight. Goodbye backlight. And I'm ready to take this into editing. I got my cards, and I do not wait. I get these to the computer right now, because if I lose it, I'm going to have to do all that over again. So let's go down and blow these onto the computer and start editing the episode. Okay, here we are on my computer, one of my computers. Basically what I've done is I know this is going to be episode 235, so that's what I created here. All of my episodes I go on, I create a footage folder, a graphics folder, and a render folder. I may have graphics or not, I may have footage or not, but I keep those in there. I copied all the, what's that doing now? That was a test. I copy all the files that I need. This is from the Zoom H1 that that I recorded while I was recording the iPhone, because I didn't have any sound and I don't want to use the iPhone sound. There's the iPhone movie. Here's the shot episode. Here's the subsequent H6 out of my microphone that I recorded. I always put these files in here. I make a copy of any of my voice recordings and I put them in saved sound, because when I edit these, what happens is if I make a mistake or I do something bad, I always have the backup sound, and I certainly don't want to reshoot the episode. Let me delete these two sound files. I was playing with these, and let's pull the save sound files out, and I can show you how I edit these. So here we are in our footage folder. Again, I got everything. I know which episode. Go in our footage folder, and let's grab our WAV file and open it in Audition. What I do to my voice is pretty simple. I'm in the same room, the same studio, the same everything. What I do is I go through and add a bit of a EQ. It just cuts some of the highs and lows and boomy stuff. I add a multi-band compressor, which adds some nice stuff to my voice here, with make sure it doesn't gain over -3 dB. Then I hard limit everything to -3 to make sure it doesn't peak out on me, and a little light noise reduction here. And then that's pretty much it. What I did was I saved this effects rack as a favorite, so I could just go in here and pick this NTG3 as of 9 September 2017. And that way I just pick it and it runs this entire rack of things. Now, before I do that, I always go down and grab my files. Let me grab my lapel file 2. There we are. I always grab these files and I pull them down into the match loudness. Now, match loudness, basically I've set it to this. You can pick all these. I've basically set it to this. It goes through and it sets them at an even sound level, which I'll do right now when I'm talking for both of these. Because what happens is, you saw that jump, what happens is if I record one episode and my sound is too high, I record another episode, my sound is too low, you're either diving for the volume now to turn it up or you're diving for it to turn down. That way my music settings are all the same. Like it just makes everything the same for me, and I don't have to worry about having sound that's too hot or sound that's too soft. So it's gone through and processed these two and basically set it to what it thinks. That's the lapel. The H1 records in stereo, by the way. Now I go through and I pick my NTG preset. It's going to go through, do all that things, chop off the peaks. And
I'm going to show so I'm going to show you how I set it up, film it, edit it.
Totally okay with me. The lapel mic?
This is all set up with the white.
I have no idea, but just for time's sake, I don't want to mess with this too much. I'm going to see if my NTG3 setting works the same way. Okay, and it's zipped through that.
White balance and everything else, and it me to.
That's going to be fine. Now, I don't have any problem with saving these, so I'm going to save all these files. Good, they're saved. I'm done. What are you doing there, dude? Oh, it's still processing. I was trying to close it while it's still processing. So what's happened here? Let me go find this folder. It's example. What's happened here is I've edited these files, but I don't care because I save them. So if I screw up, fine. Now I go up to my last episode. That's 235. Let's go to 234. I'm going to grab the, this is what I use, Photoshop file. I make the use of thumbnail. It's basically a template. And here's the project file. I'm going to grab those two, copy them. I'll stick them into my new episode folder. There we go. And I'm going to rename them. 230. Whoa. Beeping at me, are you? Wrong key. 235. I'm going to rename the thumbnail 235. And let's open this up and see what we're going to do with it. It's looking for files that it can't find anymore. I don't care because I'm going to be removing all of them. Okay, and here's my old episode. Let's grab the footage. I know I don't need these. Let's remove them. Yep. I know I'm not going to need that. Yep. That's my subscribe message. I want that. That's my outro. I want that. These are some notes. I don't need those. This is my beginning. Cool. Let me just move some things around here that I know I'll need later, and I'll show you why I have them. That isn't needed. Okay, so now I go through and I say, okay, let's make some room here for all this stuff I'm going to bring in, and so I don't destroy those, put that over here. Okay, let's bring some footage in this thing. There's the end. Go grab my footage. That's going to be all three of these. The lapel mic, and it's here's the iPhone movie that I took and the lapel mic, and here's the episode I shot on the Canon, and there's its sound. So let's grab all these, bring them in. Okay, we'll start with the movie file. And I separate them. Like I can certainly do this. What I do is I just make sure there's a little room in there on the sound. Because I'm going to take the WAV file, I'm going to stick it in here. Now let's take a look at this. I'm going to try and have these match up. There's some peaks and slaps and stuff like that. The way I do that is I select the first one, select the second one, pick synchronize, audio, okay, do it, and let's check it out.
Now you can see me on the camera. I'm now filming. Here.
Totally worked. Here's the sound from the camera.
I can either be running a script.
And here's the sound from the microphone.
My phone over there, but it's currently on here.
Which is why I record with a microphone. So let's get this all up here. I go to the beginning. I grab this one just to be clean about it. Go to the end, match them up to be clean about it. I unlink the movie with the in-camera sound and link it up with the sound I want. Delete the camera sound, and now I'm good. I'm all good. Let's unmute that. Next thing is let's go in and sync up the iPhone sound. Same deal. And we're going to grab, whoops. What did I just do? Okay, grab the iPhone sound. You know what? Running a little fast here. Let's make sure I put this in the footage file. I like to keep things clean. Here's the lapel sound that I recorded. Again, select the first, select the second, synchronize, and go. Okay, good.
In my cards, sitting here on this table.
There's the iPhone sound.
I'm kind of a little bit anal about stuff because I like to be able to find it. There's my remote. And
there's that's the lapel with the end of the Zoom H1. I just wanted it to sound better. Same thing. Let's match these up. Let's match up the ends. Looks like I may have nuked something here, but that's fine. Match up the ends. Unlink these. Link up the good sound. Get rid of the bad sound. Cool. Done. All right. So someplace in here,
and I'll introduce it. A lot of people were curious about how I film my episodes, so I'm going to show you how I set it up, film it, edit it, put it together, and post it on YouTube.
so I'm going to use that for the beginning on my intro video. So I'm going to cut here. I'm going to cut right about here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to make a copy, go to the beginning. Let's select everything, move this down, and then I'm going to paste this thing right in here. That's going to bump up against there. Here's a tip. This is going to be the beginning of my episode right here. I usually go about 10, 15 frames over, and I move my adjustment layer. If you don't know what that is, you can add effects to this and affects everything below it. I move my adjustment layer about 10 or 15 frames over. The reason why I do that is because when a YouTube video starts, sometimes it's still downloading, sometimes it's still queuing up. And I don't want it to be missed, so I had about 15 frames and let it do it there. So let's take this, let's yank everything back to the beginning. Good. I have my leader, 15 frames. I have my opening. I have my same thing I used from the last episode. Let's see how far I've gotten so far.
A lot of people were curious about how I film my episodes, so I'm going to show you how I set it up, film it, edit it, put it together, and post it on YouTube.
Oh, muted the track. Sorry about that. That's where I'd start talking. Okay, one of the new features I like is the text tool. A lot of people bitching about it. I like it. This episode is going to be about YouTube. And we're going to call this Make an Episode. I may change that later. That's kind of a cheesy title. Good. So now I know in here, I actually started the episode down here with the iPhone movie.
A moment. Not going to hurt it. So everything's off over here. Now we're going to come back over here. We're going to turn back on these.
Okay. Looks like I did chop this right.
Hi, kitty.
That was the cat.
Start this.
Okay, my bad. I didn't chop this. Good. Put it back. Link them back together. Okay, somewhere in here. That's how it knows to sync it up, is these snaps.
Okay, so this is what I do.
Okay, good. That's the start of the episode. Let's crunch that down. Let's move these things the heck out of the way. We know the episode's starting there. Let's move it all down here. We need to move these things down a lot more. Don't need those anymore. And let's go over here. Let's get the start of the episode. And now we got this.
Okay, so this is what I do. First thing I do is I grab something to drink, because I like to have something to drink when I'm filming. Come over here. I definitely hear the air conditioner on. That sucker is going.
Now I could certainly go through and if you notice here, the walls are quite yellow thing. White balance is moving around on us. I don't really care. I set this thing on auto and stuck it on a gimbal, and I'm just walking around with it. It's really not that important. If I were going to shoot something, I'm moving through all sorts of different spaces. I would shoot different things. I would correct the white balance. It doesn't matter. But here's what I know. I'm going to go through and do a bunch of stuff, yada, 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 yada.
Things. I'm going to grab this card for the sound and this card.
I don't want this music playing through this huge episode, so someplace I'm going to cut it out. Just probably fade it out.
That sucker is going off. And it's off. Head up to my temporary home studio where I just have a bunch of stuff hanging around. Lights are already on. Kind of looks like that. Up top is.
I want to cut it right there. Let's cut the sound here. Let's remove this. Let's see if we can pull this off and get away with it.
See a bunch of stuff up there. And I'll
Yeah,
show you
that's
what's
good.
going on. I'm not going to use this lighting. Well, let's take a look.
I go through and I talk about everything I'm doing and how I set everything up and yada yada yada. Eventually I get to the end.
Backlight. Goodbye backlight. And I'm ready to take this into editing. I got my cards.
So somewhere in here I'm filming this.
I can tell by this little light up here, it should be red, but you know, hey, the phone doesn't know what's going on.
Okay, we want to switch to that camera view. I should have picked an easier episode, obviously.
The thing I'm going to do is I am going to
Let's match these up. Show you a little trick. This should be fun.
which is fed up into this monitor. So come over here. I see that's working. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to immediately, same as the zoom, I'm going to...
Huh. I clicked. That's pretty cool. So let's see where I do that up here. Let's remember what I'm saying here. Probably right there. This may seem boring to you. Welcome to editing.
On here, and I start my episode. I usually just start with some opener.
Okay, someplace in here.
Now you can see me on the camera. I'm recording, and I stand back here on my marks. My microphone is right up here. If I look, it's about...
Here it is. I could see it down here. Good. So now I have something reference to match these things up with right in here. So let's take a look at this. Right in here are those little marks, right? Excuse me. So I know if I match these guys up with these guys, I'm going to be dead on. A little bit more. Maybe one more. Nope, too much. One back. That's pretty close. Now I should be able to hear it all.
About right here.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do, now I'm going to look at which sound do I like better.
Now you can see me on the camera. I'm now filming. Here I am.
I like the second one better up until here.
That gives me some spikes in my sound, as you'll see when I'm editing. I'm recording. And I stand back here on my... That's record numbering.
Probably right there. I'm gonna key this thing in right when I decide to do this. So let's do this. Let's take... This is all iPhone stuff. Let's take this thing and how do I want to do this? I think I want to show the camera stuff. So I'm going to chop this here and I'm going to throw the iPhone footage up above for right now and move this footage down here. The reason why I'm doing that is I'm going to stick a little effect here. I'm going to grab this footage and let's go with, I don't know, 40%. There we go. Probably more. So you can see what's happening with the phone. And then I'm just going to grab this thing and put it somewhere. Let's put it down here maybe.
Hey, the phone doesn't know what's going on. Now that's recording and the numbers are moving. I'm going to move about halfway in between. A better snap than that. That gives me some spikes in my sound, as you'll see when I'm editing. I'm recording. And I stand back here on my marks.
Yeah, see, it's covering things up. I'm not sure I'm digging that. So let me make it smaller and put her up here so it looks a little bit better. There we go.
My microphone is right up here. If I look, it's about right here. Now you can see me on the camera.
Okay, that's getting a little messed up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
That gives me some spikes in my
Nope, not yet.
sound, as you'll see when I'm editing. I'm recording. Now I stand back here on my marks.
Right there, I'm under the microphone. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to engage this here. And then I'm going to disengage this sound right here. Whoops. And I'll probably title this. Let's stick that up here like this. Okay, here's what we got.
Halfway in between. A better snap than that. That gives me some spikes in my sound, as you'll see when I'm editing. I'm recording. Now I stand back here on my marks. My microphone is right up here.
I just switched to the road
it's
now.
About right here.
Right here.
Now you can see me on the camera. I'm now filming. Here I am. I can either be running a script using my phone over there, but it's currently on here. And I start my episode. I usually just start with some opener. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I film an episode. My bumper will play, and then I'll introduce it. A lot of people were curious.
Okay. I don't think we need this from right about here anymore, because all I'm doing is holding this thing, so it doesn't matter. So let's grab the iPhone footage and let's get her out of here.
A lot of people were
Good. Let's grab the good stuff, move her down here.
People were curious. I film an episode. My bumper will play, and then I'll introduce it. A lot of people were curious about how I film my episode, so I'm going to show you how I set it up, film it, edit it, put it together, and post it on YouTube. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm just going to run into the episode when everything's done. I'm going to show everybody how this is and on the phone and everything, and I'm going to say, all right, well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. So what happens is every time I film an episode, it seems like I always make a mistake. So far, I haven't made a mistake. If I make a mistake, I use it as an outtake. So let's pretend I make a mistake. Oh yeah, I'm using the crane. I don't remember what it is. Well, that sucks. Let's say that actually happened. That would be my outtake. So now I'm done. I'm done filming. So let's de-do everything that I just did. Come on.
Okay, that's where this is going to come in.
Actually happened. That would be my that I just did. Come over here. We're going to turn off the sound. A lot of people were curious about how I film my episode, so I'm going to show you how I set it up, film it, edit it, put it together.
I shouldn't have moved this, but that's okay. Let's reset this thing. We're going to, again, set the frame size.
De-do everything that I just did. We're going to come over. De-do everything that I just did. We're going to come over here.
Good, I'll cut right there.
So let's de-do everything that I just did. Come over here. So let's de-do everything that I just did.
Okay, that's my cut mark from the last one.
De-do everything that I just did. We're going to turn off the sound.
There we go.
Good.
I'm back to the
We're gonna
lapel
come over
mic in
here.
the iPhone.
We're going to turn off the camera. We're done filming. Good. Okay. We're going to turn off the monitor. Good. We're going to turn off the Zoom H6. Cool. We're going to pull this card over to the camera. We're going to pull this card. That's important. So let's go down and blow these onto the computer and start editing the episode.
Okay, so we got to the point here where we filmed everything that I'm going to do while I'm talking to you right now. The episode, this is going to be a really long episode. I'll show you the whole episode afterwards, of course. So we got everything in here. We know where we're going with this thing. I'm showing you what to do. There's my blah, blah, blah.
Docs. Let's say that actually happened. That would be my outtake. So now I'm done. I'm done filming. So let's de-do. So what happens is every time I film an episode, it seems like I always make and on the phone and everything, and I'm going to say, all right, well, I hope that...
Let's grab that, because that's the ending of the episode.
All right.
So I'm going to grab my end. Kapow. Kapow. Let's certainly make a copy of that. That's going at the end somewhere. And that's my end. Okay, you bored yet? This is the life of an editor. This is editing an episode and putting everything together. I'm sure I could make this simple and 5 minutes long and go bam, 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 but you really wouldn't get the whole feel for this thing and what it's like to sit here and edit these. Now, granted, I filmed these in about, I don't know, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and I've been editing so far for maybe 27 minutes. So you're looking at maybe an hour. I got about another hour's worth of editing, and that's just the life of editing. So a couple hours, maybe on a weekend, you spend 3 or 4 hours making an episode. That's not unreasonable at all. So let's keep going here. Now I've got to say, excuse me, I'm making an episode about an episode that I'm now editing and making an episode for. This is kind of trying. But that's okay. So let's continue. So anyway, I know I have my end here that I'm going to be using at the end of this episode again.
All right. Well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, I definitely want to add my subscribe message at the end. Always do. It's pre-done.
All right. Well,
It jumps in, says subscribe, says click the bell, whatever. Get new videos, and when it's over I just cut it. So let's take this and let's drop it somewhere that makes sense, probably right up here.
All right, well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Good. Here's my outro, which looks quite hot. Let me turn down the sound on this thing. It's probably going to be no more than 6
next time.
Well, that was interesting. Well, let's try that again. Right here is where I would put my outtakes. So let's go grab those. They were in here.
The phone and everything, and I'm going to say, all right, well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. So what happens is, if I make a mistake, I use it as an outtake. So let's pretend I make a mistake.
Okay, here's my outtake. Grab that, copy that. We're going to plop that at the end.
Oh yeah, I'm using the crane. I don't remember what it is. Well, that sucks.
Okay, that'll be the end right there. So here's my ending.
All right. Well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
This part here is where you put little cards and subscribe messages.
Oh yeah, I'm using the crane. I don't remember what it is. Well, that sucks.
Okay, there we go. So now I pretty much got my whole episode together. Let me slice it back together here. And here's what I want to do is I'm going to go through. You can see the elements that I put together. I don't want to spend any more time having you watch all my edits because I'm pretty much done. I'm done with the music, and I'm going to probably put some at the end, but this is long. I mean, right now I'm not going to have you watch another 11 minutes of this. The elements are, I got my beginning, I have my little intro, I have my music, I figured out where I'm going to cut. The episode plays all the way through. I show you what I'm doing here. Blah, 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 blah. I show you what I'm doing. I get to the end. I say, thanks for watching. I put my little subscribe message up always. I have a place here for all my stuff. And then I have usually my bloopers at the end or some message. Sometimes I just cut it if I don't have it. And I'm pretty much good there. So let's say that's my episode. Let's close everything up here. I'm going to go to the end. I'm going to make sure this adjustment layer, remember I was talking about it, how I blacken it up a bit. I want to make sure that goes, whoops, I'm going to make sure that goes a little few frames past, because at the end, I don't want it to end and just go blah and throw up, here's the next videos you want. I want it to end, pause for just half a second or a quarter of a second, and then it throws that up. It just makes it a lot smoother. What I'm doing now is setting the in and out points of what I'm going to render. Of course, periodically saving. Good. So I'm done with that. And let's make sure all our tracks are unmuted. Everything's cool. Now, I'm not going to have you watch this whole thing right now because you're going to end up watching it when I render it. But I would end up watching this again. I would end up putting little titles in here, things I want to call out or whatever. Like here, I'll be saying film with an iPhone. Here I'll say switch to main camera. Yada, yada, yada. I'll probably call out all the lights and make little titles. This is basically episode. When I go to render, I'm ready. I ask it to render my video. Yeah, oh yeah, 234. Let's not forget that. I renamed this 235. One thing I forgot. I forget stuff. Good. So what I really want to do now is make sure everything's cool. That's good. There's my end. There's my beginning. And when I'm running Camtasia, which is recorder, and I do Control M, it doesn't actually render because apparently Camtasia is eating those keyboards. So what we're going to do is we're going to export. We would hit Control M here, and this guy would come up. I set it to BFM 23976. That's what I shot it in. And that's because I did another episode on all my export settings, which I'll link, and how you do all this. But that allows me to go off and do it. I hit the Q button. Media encoder goes. You can also export. I wait for that to load. It comes up. What it does is it loads the project that I'm queuing up, which is ready. There. Where do I want to save it? I can save it in the render folder. I usually drop it on the desktop because the desktop is a different drive. It's my C drive than my work drive, which is this SATA drive over here. Rendering to the same drive, it can save some time if you render to a different drive that's just as fast. And my boot drive, which is my desktop drive, which is my C drive, is also a very, very fast drive. So I'm going to render to the top, and I'm going to say, okay, here we go. Let's render. So now it's going to go chew up the audio, chew up the video, and render that out. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch that, so I'll be back in a second. Okay. The video's now been rendered. It's done. It's sitting over here. I rendered it out here instead of the desktop. So that's cool. So let's close this down. Let's close this down. And let's go over here. And let's go check out some videos. Load YouTube. Okay, I want to upload a video, which is pretty simple. I'm going to take my rendered video, I'm going to slap it down in there and let it render. Now I already know, based upon this, that I'm on episode 235. I have a default template set up when I bring this thing in, and it just blows it in here. Title, I'll think of something that will be swanky. YouTube episode walkthrough. That probably won't be it either. Apparently I can spell walkthrough, and apparently I can spell YouTube. Something like that. I'd spend more time on this than this. Then I'd put something in here, some sort of description. I wanted to show you a full from beginning to end on how I create my YouTube episodes. Man, I cannot spell today. YouTube episodes. And then I would continue with, you know, blah, blah, something else. Here I'd put any links in here that I would normally use. Adobe CC is appropriate because I'm using that to edit. And I'll probably put in a bunch of links in here. I don't need that anymore. That's for my template. Donate. Change that. Gear, training, where I got my music, my sharing, my social media, and all that stuff. And well, this is uploading. Okay, yada yada yada. More in the description. I'll flush this out later. It won't look quite like that. I don't need to put the music in there. I'm kind of done with that. Now it's processing. I did not create a thumbnail, so while it's processing and it's doing its stuff, actually it's already done. Let's just click done for right now. The thing I need to do and I didn't do is, if you'll notice, I wanted to show you here, is YouTube is, let's go to the video manager so we could see what's happening. I shortened it, it's 58 seconds because I didn't want to render the whole thing. Because how do I show you how to do the whole thing and upload it and post it if I already rendered it? I can't capture it if I hadn't done it, right? Okay, so YouTube is trying to pick up some stuff here and show me this thumbnail. Okay, fine. I really don't like that. So what I do is, let's go over here. I remember I told you about this PSD I have that I use to create my thumbnails. So I open that up. And I'm trying to think what I'm going to do here on this video. A lot of times what I will do is I'll figure out what I'm going to say. That was my last episode. It's composed of this little overlay thing here. Has some text things in here. There's the iPhone. Let's get rid of that. That's just a white layer. Let's get rid of that. There's a 5D. Let's get rid of that. And basically my layers are, let me move this text and this text. So basically I have this background in case I need it, and some of that, and this little covery thing. So now I need to put something in there. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll go back to Premiere and I'll just find some frame that could possibly represent what I'm doing. I don't know. Oh, that wasn't bad. That doesn't look. You want to pick some thumbnail where somebody could see what the hell they're looking at, and not just. That's not bad. Just for purposes of discussion, again, I may change it. This thing allows me to take a picture. It sticks it on a desktop. Schwack. Let's go check it out. And there's the picture. Let's blow it in here. Okay, cool. Let's stick it down below all this stuff. Okay, cool. I don't know what we're going to call this. We'll call this YouTube episode. Let's bring that up here. Start to finish. Okay, fine. Looks good. Little big. Let's pull it down. Let's pull it down a little bit more. My card is freaking out between Camtasia and everything else I'm doing. Yeah, now that's okay. I'm not real satisfied with that. It's a bit hard to read. So probably what I'll do is I'll go in it and I'll add some sort of blur on the back, like a Gaussian blur, kind of like that. It just makes this pop out better. Good. I'm done with that. I save it. Let me export this as a PNG. Let's go over to here. That's my iPhone episode. We're doing 235. Right in there. Save it. 235. It's really funny. I was pointing with my finger and I realized you couldn't see it. Quit that. There's my PNG. Kapoo. I do 1280 by 720. Not a big deal. Go back to here. I want to upload my custom thumbnail, which is, I just saved it right there. 235. Upload. There it is. Save the changes. Okay, cool. So I got this, I got the links and everything else. We'll get to the tags in a minute. End screen annotations. Remember the basic filmmaker at the end, which is right around here someplace. Where are you, dude? Oh, I shortened the episode so I could show you what I'm doing. Anyway, what I do is I will import from my last video all the stuff I had in there. So let's go over here. So there's my subscribe message. There's my come sign up for something message. Here's my last two videos. There's my last video. I'm going to change my last video to my last video. I'm going to change my video before that to the one before that, which is this one. Cool. And what will happen is this will play out. Temporary home studio where I just have a bunch of... Right, and here they can do that. It'll be over my basic Filmmaker at the end thing, but I just wanted to show you how to do that. They can click on another video. They can subscribe if they haven't already, and then you can put like go get some training and stuff like that. That works. Now I do use cards, and they're pretty cool. Unfortunately, you can import your end screen and annotations from another video and mess with them. You can't do that with cards. I happen to use TubeBuddy. So let's go back to... Ooh, I need to save this. Thank you. Cool, everything's good. Let's go back to my YouTube videos. And let's take my last YouTube video that I made. And thank God for TubeBuddy. I can come up to TubeBuddy and I can say, hey, I want to copy these cards that I had. Let me select all of them. There's my playlist. I want you to go to the website, continue, show the last videos, and I want it on that one that I just created, continue. Yes, they're confirming that so you don't screw up. Start copying. Now it's copying over my cards from my last video to my new video, so I don't have to do this all over, which is cool. So let's go back to the video I just uploaded right here. Cool, and if I go to cards,
A lot of people were curious about...
There's my cards sitting way the hell out there. So let me stick this one here. And let me stick this one here. So here's what happens. Thing plays along. Card pops up.
See a bunch of stuff up there. And I'll show you what's going on.
See that? There's not much going on here. Let's put that over there. Okay.
Is going
First card is this one coming up.
Off.
and it's off. Head up to my temporary home studio where
and then it'll disappear. Now this card thing, you can click it down and it puts the cards here, and you click on things and you go places. So what'll happen is I would probably have this here, I would have this here. This would be right by my end when it's playing.
Come over here. I definitely hear the air conditioner on. That sucker is going off.
Hit the next
And
card.
it's off. Head up to my...
And then I'll disappear. What I did is I made a playlist, and I've always had a playlist of every video on my channel, so somebody can go, they can click on that, and they can subscribe to that playlist and see everything in there. Okay, so I got my cards. I'm not going to go through subtitling right now. I've made plenty of videos on that. YouTube is trying to automatically do one for English, but that's basically it. Let me go show you a few settings here. Advanced settings. I have set it to allow viewers to contribute translated titles. No one has yet, but I'd love it if they could contribute title translations for my videos in other countries. All this stuff. I allow comments. They can look at the ratings. They can put it everywhere. They can embed it. I want to notify subscribers. It's in English. That's the category. That's pretty much it here. Monetization. I leave overlay ads and skippable ads on because my audience can skip their ads. Overlay ads, they can turn them off. These sponsored cards, I hate them because they pop up in the middle of the video. There's also one where on these display ads, you can turn that off. There is one where it used to be, and I don't see it for me anymore, used to be you could set whether the video ads are skippable or not, and some people made them not skippable, and I don't know about you, but that just pisses me off. So skippable video ads and overlay ads. If I don't have these on, I'm not going to make any money whatsoever. Let me put it this way, I want to make way less piles of money than I do now. And my piles of money now is I probably will make, if I'm lucky, over the lifetime of this video, $5 or $10. So I leave those on, and I leave those on so I don't make $0. Translations, I don't do any translations. I wish I could. Right here, I have a lot of people, mostly English, but in Hindi, German, Spanish, like these types of languages. I'd love people to come over and offer to translate those. Basic info, again, I have a title, I have my description. Now, again, I use TubeBuddy, which I can't say enough about. I'll put a link in the description, to help me with these tags. First, I'm going to ask it to suggest the tags I should put in there. It's going to run stuff, and it's going to say, okay, based upon this, you should put YouTube in there, Filmmaker in there, full, Bitly, whatever. It's a filmmaking tutorial, basic filmmaker tips, filmmaking basics. Not really about it. It's definitely a how-to. I guess it shows camera. It definitely shows editing, an episode. It shows lighting. It is a tutorial. It shows gear. Yada, 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 yada. Over here, suggestions for related. What's happening is it's telling me I need to put tags. A lot of people don't do this, you know, in the, let me close this for a second. Like when you play the video, let's come over here. Let's pause this. When you play the video, what happens is it suggests a bunch of suggestions over here, like what should play. There's one of mine. There's another one of mine. There's a few more of mine. And there's a bunch of other people's. I can make it, not that I don't want you to see other people's, I can make it a lot better if I come over here to these suggested tags, and it's telling me if you want to set up over here a good chance of having your videos show up. There's a famous video I did, the basic filmmaker. I did a jib video. I did 5D mark settings video. I did editing tips, basic filmmaker university. I did an edit filmmaking 101, DIY camera, 5D mark video, my university tips and tricks. I did a Steadicam series. That's probably enough. I may have exceeded. No, I didn't. So now I put all these things in here,
and I save these changes, and I'm pretty much ready to go. Now what will happen is when I bring this up, let's pause this. By the way, again, TubeBuddy, it tells you all this data about your video. Now it's telling me the creator suggested things that I put over here are awesome. Now if you look over here, lenses, there's my video, 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 my video, my video, mine. So what happens is it feeds the next videos based upon some of those tags over here for the user, which is cool because then they watch your videos and you get more views and you expand your channel. Okay, this stuff over here is telling me that I'm awesome as far as these creators suggested. The tags in the title description, not so good. This is important too. It looks at in my description and my tags up here, my title, do I have a bunch of tags in here that are matching up here, which is a good thing, and I don't. You should do that. Anyway, I won't go into that so much. Let's go back to editing here. Let's say the episode's done. I've created a bunch of playlists. I always add this to my episode list. I always add this to my everything list. And what's it about? Create a YouTube episode. Yep. Is it my favorite? This is not my favorite. It's too long. It's definitely instructions. I wouldn't say it's Premiere Pro necessarily. There's some editing in there. That's kind of about it. 4 or 5 playlists. And I'm done. I go through, pick public. And when I publish this guy, it goes shooting out to the 50, almost 60,000 subscribers I have. Once I do that, and I'm not going to publish this right now because it's not done because I'm still recording showing you it. Let's leave here. Let's go back to, sure, I don't know why that was up. Let's go back to here and I'll show you what happens. Back to my videos. Let's take this one. My last video, it's got a thumbnail, it's got all these tags, it's got all this cool stuff, and it's on playlists and it's public. So when I go to the video to play it, and I've done everything I did, once I do that, I'm the first one to like it. Hey, I put a lot of time in these, I like it. Then I share them. I share it to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, StumbleUpon, Tumblr, Pinterest. I share it to my own Blogger account. I share it to Reddit, and I just share it to all these. And like I'll show you that one there. Let's go look here. Let's go look at the Twitters. Here's Twitters. There's the iPhone Plus one that I did. Let's go take a look at the Facebooks. A little slow here. I wonder if my Wi-Fi is getting bad. Here's my iPhone 8. Again, here's this thing. There were 1,337 people reached. I don't know how many watched it, but between sharing it to all these places, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, I share it on, if I'm reviewing something, I share it on Kit, which is where I keep all my gear, Pinterest, my own website, StumbleUpon, and a few other places, even Vimeo. What happens is people watch stuff over there or from there, or they land upon it. You get more subscribers, etc. Okay, well, there you go. Now, I could really go into this. I mean, I created a, what is it, a 5.5 or 6 hour YouTube course over at Basic Filmmaker University, and another 4.5 hour course on how to do well in front of the camera. There's 10 hours alone over there. So there's no way I could go through and hit every detail I want to hit on this thing. Otherwise, you know, crazy. Hey, look at this. Almost 2,000 views. And apparently it thinks I'll make $2.90. The real story is here, 48 cents to 7.73. It'll probably make 50 cents on this, or maybe a couple bucks off this when all is said and done. Anyway, I could not possibly go through this otherwise huge long episode and continue to go through and tell you all the tweaks and the tricks and everything else that you would need on a YouTube video to do. But I hope I have given you a full, a very full walkthrough from beginning to end on how I shoot it, how I film it, how I edit it, how I post it. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And hey, it really helps for you to share these, for you to like these, for you to leave comments, and especially sharing and asking other people to subscribe, especially on social media. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. I am trying very hard to get this channel from nearly 60,000 to over 100,000 this year. I don't know if I'll do it, but with your help, maybe I will. And that's about it. Thanks very much.
All right. Well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh yeah, I'm using the crane. I don't remember what it is. Well, that sucks.